Stop staring at her. Step away from me. I will be operating on your wife. Who are you to speak to me that way? That is the right question. It simply comes 28 years too late.
28 years. That exact span of time separated a man from his son. That exact distance held between a father who never left and a boy who was made to believe he was abandoned. 18 minutes until she would be taken into surgery. 18 minutes to sign away her marriage while her heart still beat in her chest.
Did you really choose this moment?
You chose this when you started meeting with him.
You don't know who he is.
I know enough. Sign, Lena.
The door opened. Authority arrived in scraps and professional distance.
Herr Wagner, she should not be under any stress right now.
Then hurry.
Her heart skipped not from fear of what the surgeon would do to her body, but from the cold in his voice. In that moment, she understood something fundamental had broken.
The meetings, the photos, the messages. They hide something much bigger than an affair.
I know enough.
She could have spoken then. She could have told him everything before unconsciousness claimed her. But his face already carried the certainty that no hurried explanation could break.
Did you bring witnesses?
Just right.
Where is he?
My lawyer handled everything.
Of course. You always prefer documents to questions.
Don't turn this into an accusation against me. I don't need this.
You managed that all on your own.
On the back of each photograph, Lena's name and dates. On each image, the moment her life was decided for her, by someone holding a camera and a grudge.
You had me followed.
I had to know how far the lie went.
And you decided the answer before hearing the question.
Maximilian stepped nearer to the bed, his eyes filled with old anger as he remembered. The first time he saw her asleep on his office sofa, waiting for him until 3 in the morning with cold food and infinite patience.
Sign. Sign.
Her hand trembled as she positioned the pen. The blank space on the paper waited for her name. Everything waited.
If I don't come out of this room, this will be the last thing you asked of me.
Maximilian became pale. Not stepping back, the threat hung between them like a blade neither could take back.
You were at. You will come out.
That was not my question.
She signed. The pen moved across the paper despite the tremor in her hand. The signature emerged unsteady but final. The legal end of their marriage. A man entered in dark blue surgical clothing, holding a clipboard. His gaze shifted when it recognized Maximilian. In that shift lived the recognition of old buried pain.
Len, we need to go.
Maximilian recognized him immediately. The pieces shifted in his mind like a lock turning.
So it is you.
Valentin examined the folder on the bed cover. He understood in an instant what had happened in this room.
Dr. Valentin Gruber, chief surgeon responsible for her care. Responsible? Responsible for more than you admit.
Lena closed her eyes. The collision of past and present was happening without her ability to control it.
Do you feel pain only where the report does not show? What exactly is the relationship between you?
Valentin lifted his gaze from the monitor. His expression carried something that disturbed Maximilian more than any defense could.
A relationship based on trust. Something you decided to destroy moments before I open your wife's chest.
Don't lecture me. You know nothing about my marriage.
I know more than I wish I did.
Lena touched the wrist of the surgeon. His sleeve rose as he examined her eyes with a small light. The dark metal watch with a family crest became visible. Maximilian recognized the crest. It was the same symbol engraved on the watch his mother kept in her safe. The piece she said belonged to his father.
Where did you get that?
Valentin covered the watch. The gesture came too late. Maximilian's attention was narrowing onto something invisible to most, but suddenly, everything.
This is not the time for this conversation. I asked where you got it. I will answer when your wife is out of danger.
Valentin. Not now.
The preparation team moved through the room with purpose. Maximilian stepped back only as far as protocol required.
When I wake, I will not be in your house.
You are not in the state of mind to decide that.
I just signed the divorce you brought. I am in sufficient state of mind.
The bed began to move. Lena was wheeled toward the corridor leading to surgery. Maximilian reached a hand toward her as they passed, but did not touch.
Tell me the truth when you wake.
I told you the truth. Every time I asked you to trust me.
Valentin paused as he moved to follow the surgical team. Maximilian and Valentin were alone in the corridor for the first time, without Lena as buffer.
It takes great fear for a man to do cruel things and call it courage. That is the real question.
Who are you to speak to me that way?
That is the right question. Pity it comes 28 years too late.
Maximilian stood motionless as Valentin walked away toward the operating room. 28 years suddenly filled the space between them like a chasm. Maximilian called his mother from the waiting room. She answered after 2 rings with urgency in her voice.
Who is Valentin Gruber?
A competent doctor. Nothing more.
He has a watch with the family crest.
Beate's breathing became controlled, her grip tightening on the phone. 28 years of maintained fiction was suddenly threatened by a piece of jewelry.
Maximilian, do not speak to this man.
Why? What's this here?
Because Lena is using him to meet you. Because he will corrupt what you know about your past.
How did he get the what? How did he get the watch?
Come home. I will explain everything.
Maximilian looked at the closed doors to the operating room. Lena was somewhere behind them, her chest being opened by a man wearing his father's watch. An alarm sounded beyond the operating room doors. Two nurses hurried down the corridor. Fear suddenly overwhelmed all other concerns.
That is my wife. I need to know what is wrong.
The receptionist checked the screen. Complications, but stabilized. Maximilian's legs nearly gave way beneath him.
I want someone to call me the moment there is information.
Helene appeared beside him. Her hand briefly touched his arm.
She is stable. These complications happen. The team is excellent.
Beate arrived 20 minutes later, accompanied by her lawyer and Roland. She moved through the waiting room without haste, though urgency radiated from how she held her bag.
Have you left the hospital? Have you left the hospital?
Why did Roland come?
Because Lena tried to copy financial documents without board approval.
Maximilian processed the information. His mother was not here to comfort him, but to protect the company and herself.
She was investigating something. You know this.
She was pursuing a ghost. I tried to protect you.
Helene appeared again, carrying a sealed envelope bearing Maximilian's name in Lena's handwriting.
She left this with me for the event her access was suspended.
Inside the envelope was an old photograph of a much younger Valentin holding a baby, the same dark metal watch visible on his wrist, and on the back of the photograph, Lena's handwriting. Lena's words on the photograph asked Maximilian to question why his father was deleted from photographs before he was deleted from his life. Maximilian turned the photograph over repeatedly. The young man's face was identical to Valentin's. The infant wore the same small dark mark beneath the right ear that Maximilian still bore.
Who gave this to Lena?
She found it in an archive that should have been destroyed. Your mother told me your father left the family.
Perhaps you should ask why someone needed to delete his face from almost every memory.
Beate's face became rigid. The moment shifted from corporate crisis management to something far more personal and damaging.
Did you know the letter was forged?
Beate hesitated. Her control finally cracked under the weight of the photograph and Maximilian's clarity.
Yes.
Maximilian stood motionless. The moment stretched as he processed the fact that his entire understanding of his father had been constructed from lies. The operating room doors opened. Valentin emerged in surgical scrubs. Maximilian stood paralyzed between the photograph in his hand and the man walking toward him.
The operation is done. There was a complication, but we stabilized her. The next 24 hours are critical.
Maximilian stepped toward Valentin. Their eyes met across decades of forced separation and constructed lies.
Is Valentin Gruber your real name?
The room became still. Everyone understood that this conversation was moving into territory that could not be reversed or hidden.
Valentin Wagner was. Before, I was forced to abandon everything.
Maximilian's world reorganized itself in an instant. The pieces suddenly settled into a shape that explained everything.
You are my father. Yes. Yes.
Maximilian looked between his father and his mother. His entire understanding of his life was suddenly revealed to be constructed on a foundation of lies.
Why did you not come back after the investigation ended?
I came back twice. The first time, your mother threatened to prosecute my sister for involvement in the transfers. The second time I saw you coming from school, you looked happy. I chose not to disrupt that.
Maximilian turned to face his mother. He understood that every story she told him about Valentin was constructed to justify keeping them apart.
Because he would have destroyed everything I built.
Maximilian understood in this moment that he had inherited more than he knew. Not just the surname and the company, but her methods. Hours later, the operating room team announced that Lena was stable. Maximilian chose not to see her, remaining in the waiting room with the photograph in his hand. The next morning arrived with the same institutional coldness. Lena woke in intensive care with monitors attached.
Maximilian. He was here until dawn. He has seen Valentin. He has seen everything.
Lena closed her eyes, not from exhaustion, but from understanding that the silence she maintained had broken in the worst possible way.
The green notebook? He has it. He has it.
Maximilian entered the intensive care unit. He stood beside Lena's bed with the green notebook under his arm, his face bearing the exhaustion of a night spent in confrontation.
I am sorry for what I did in that room. I am sorry for the fear I caused you.
Apologies matter only when they change what we do next.